Hi guys, it's Minx here, hope you're doing well, and welcome to, I guess, the first edition of me responding to comments outside of the SOS series, although I do intend to do more comment specials with Sinnoh as well in the future, because these are really fun, and I'm looking forward to recording this video. The subject of this very first episode is going to be Undertale, because the poisonous vitriol that I've seen in the comment section for Undertale is some of the greatest stuff I've ever seen on YouTube, and it has really made my week, made my month even, to see how upset people have got by my playthrough of Undertale. So, before we begin, I just want to go through a few points very quickly that I feel genuinely need to be addressed about my playthrough of Undertale. Number one, a lot of people were like, "God, Minx, you're so butthurt." I wasn't really that butthurt at all. I mean, I got mildly irritated while I played the game. Frustrated. I get frustrated when I play games. I think most people at some point in their gaming time have got frustrated with games, and I certainly did. And but I certainly wasn't. I wouldn't say I was butthurt. I was amused by how this comment section was literally. I've done hundreds of Let's Plays over the years. I've been Let's Playing since 2006. I have never come across people getting so upset over a fucking video game in the comments before. Like, personally offended, thinking less of me as a human being for my decisions in a video. And that blows my mind. It was great. It was literally some of the most entertaining stuff I think I've ever witnessed on YouTube. And I personally want to thank everyone who did get really upset, because that was some of the best shit I've seen, guys. And I thought Until Dawn was pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't like super toxic. It was like more like just a little bit whiny. But this, holy shit, this was great. And I don't know if this can ever be capped. Hopefully not. I hope to actually play some games that I enjoy next. But still, this was great to see. And yeah. I mean, also my score of like 5 out of 10 for the game. I don't think that's that bad. I mean, Undertale, it's not like it's not like shit on Steam level stuff. It's a competently made game with well-written dialogue and that kind of thing. I just didn't enjoy the walking around, the combat. It was pretty generic, and I'm afraid you can't say otherwise. The combat and and that sort of thing side of things is pretty generic. And well, I mean, obviously, you can think otherwise if that's your opinion, but in my opinion, I feel that that's a very tough defense. I understand that I missed out a lot not doing the pacifist or genocide runs where you perhaps interact more with the characters, but I feel that neutral is the route that most people will go down, and if they have never heard about the game, if they know nothing, I knew nothing about there being a pacifist or genocide route or anything like that going into the first video, and I loved the first video. It wasn't until I realized that people expected you to play it in a certain way that I was like, oh god, like, really? Like, a game shouldn't have to be played in a certain way for you to get the maximum enjoyment from it. If there are 3 possible routes through a video game, all 3 of those routes should be equally rewarding and different in their own way. Otherwise, in my opinion, that is bad writing, and I do feel pretty strongly about that. So anyway, let's move on to some of the comments, I guess. One more thing I wanted to address as well. A lot of people like, you call yourself the RPG Minx, and you didn't like an RPG. Well, I don't actually like that style of RPG very much at all. I don't like random encounter RPGs. I don't consider them proper role-playing games, in my opinion, because you're playing a set character. Like, there isn't a lot of role-play involved. I consider, like, proper RPGs, for example, things where you play a role that you create yourself. I'm very fond of BioWare's games and Obsidian's games in that regard. That's what I would say, in my opinion, is what a proper RPG is. I'm not very fond of a lot of JRPGs. There's some JRPGs that are good, but a lot of them I do think are pretty tedious. And while this isn't a JRPG, as it were, until I feel it has lots of things in common with that side of things. And I'm not really a big fan of those. So that would be my response to that. And that, I don't The RPG thing was from a long time ago, and I mostly played Western RPGs when I did. In fact, I think I solely played Western RPGs when I did that. So, you know, that's why it's called that. It's a name I'm kind of stuck with. I don't really want to be called it anymore. But hey ho, that's what I've got on YouTube, and there's not a lot I can do about it. Now let's move on to some comments. Sorry it took me 5 minutes to get there, guys, but let's have a look at some of them, shall we? Okay, guys, let's begin with this one. I wouldn't say this is necessarily 100% a really horrible comment, but I just wanted to do this one first. I thought, hey, it's got some good points to address. Considering the fact you fucked yourself over right from the beginning by reading the YouTube comments on the first episode, expecting no spoilers to be taken notice, then out of spite go for the neutral or genocide run, only to give your opinions of the game based on a lot of sour cream. People will get mad because people, but to think that the neutral route started because you thought either the internet would suddenly stop being full of spoilers, or you just made the terrible decision to read the comments, what would you expect from this neutral playthrough? The game prides itself by saying, you don't need to kill in this game. The pacifist ending is the best one because it'll have been the one with the most thought and effort put into it during development. If you ever play through the game again, use your head and avoid the internet. You're setting yourself up for spoiler suicide if you think that won't appear. And yes, to be quite frank, your overall summary was pretty shite if the game is capable of making people, like, cry, tear up, and never wanting it to end. Okay, let's respond to some things here. Number one, in the first thing here. I have never, ever, 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 ever had a game spoiled as bad as this one. Never. And I've done hundreds of Let's Plays. Hundreds. I said that before. People spoiled this out their fucking ass. Like, people were, like, shitting themselves. Literally soiling themselves as they typed at the keyboard in the fucking comments as they were typing. They're like, oh my god, that was the sort of noise they made. And, that's how I imagine it anyway. And it was highly entertaining. I think you want to point out though that I actually started a neutral run in the very first video before I'd read any comments. Before I'd done anything. I didn't know anything. I'd actually recorded the first 2 videos, and then I posted the first one, and then people were like, oh, pacifist route, you need to do pacifist, it's the best route, pacifist. And I'd already begun on the neutral route because I didn't know there was any other routes, you know what I mean? I just thought, you know, this was how the game was going to be. And, so I certainly didn't go into neutral because, because of the fan base, and that's a ridiculous you can see in the first video before I even received, unless I was psychic and preempted the fucking comments on the first, which I didn't, then I wouldn't have ever known. So the neutral thing happened organically, and I think if you never played this game before, if you never, like, watched someone else play it, fap to the videos or whatever beforehand, like a large percentage of people before they played this game seem to have done, then you would definitely go on a neutral run. Even if you didn't, like, kill the enemies to begin with, because you, like, were like, oh, I should press act and stuff, you know what I mean? Even if you didn't kill them early on, you would accidentally kill one character at some point because you wouldn't be sure 100% how to get through the fight. I feel that very few people accidentally get pacifist. Most people that go into the game going, oh, I got pacifist on my first run, is because they fucking saw someone else get pacifist or read about it first, or they had some dickwad telling them about it beforehand anyway in the fucking comments of their own videos. So that's how that happens. You know what I mean? That's my thoughts. Okay. If I ever play this game again, I won't be playing through it again under any circumstances because I don't like games where you have to play through multiple times to see everything. It just feels like a waste of fucking time. Anyway, and yes, to be quite frank, your overall summary was pretty shite. If the game is capable of making people, like, cry, tear up, and never wanting it to end, people cry at fucking anything, okay? I have cried at video games before. There are many games I have cried at. Contrary to what some of you guys think, I'm not, like, a completely heartless psychopath bitch. Although, I like to pretend I am sometimes, because it's entertaining to see those comments. But yeah, I've cried at video games. In fact, on some of the videos on this channel, I have cried at video games. If someone else disliked those games and gave them a bad review, would I think their summary was pretty shite? No, because I'm not a whiny little shit. I personally think that basically you're certainly entitled to your opinions. There are plenty of comments on these videos, by the way, that were like, oh yeah, you know, like, there were plenty of comments on the videos that were like, I'm really sorry you didn't like this. I really enjoyed it, but that's okay. That's fine. That's great. If you disagree with my verdict, that's absolutely fine, and you're totally entitled to that. However, this sort of thing is, your summary is pretty shit. It's just a fucking ridiculous way of fucking putting it. You're clearly upset that I didn't like the game because you feel I should have played it a certain way, and it's a ridiculous thing to say. If someone else cried at this, do I think they're an idiot? No, I don't. They obviously had a connection with the characters. I didn't. I didn't like the characters. End of discussion. So here we are. Another one. This is seeing how you killed Flowey without thought and how much you gave Undertale a chance, very little, shows how much you care about other stuff and how much you care in life, Minx. So, just by... I can hear the tears reverberating in the end of that comment there. I mean, I don't even know... There was quite a few comments like this. I don't even know what to say. Like, do you really think, really, that my playthrough of this little RPG game reflects deeply on me as a person? Because if you do, are people that play Grand Theft Auto and, like, kill hookers going to go and kill a hooker in real life? Are people who, I don't know, are people who crush other civilizations in Civilization going to grow up to be dictators? Are people who do any bad decisions in a, I don't know, a BioWare game complete fucking sociopathic megalomaniacs? No, of course they're not. My head explodes at how ridiculous the comments like this. There are so many comments like this, like, I'm disappointed in you as a person, Minx. Oh, why? Like, you should, if you're watching my stuff, you should know. You really should know. Like, at this point, what I'm like, and this game was not for me. I'm gonna say that now. The game definitely wasn't my kind of game. And that obviously did have an effect on me. I'm not saying it's a terribly made game or anything. Obviously, there's been quite a lot of work put into it. But, you know, it wasn't my kind of game. And if you think that my playthrough of a game that literally was inconsequential to me, other than laughing a bit on the internet, is it like a show of, like, me as an individual and how I care about plenty of things in real life, thank you. You know, I have a wife and a pretty good life that I enjoy having, and of course I care about that sort of things. I've got a puppy on the way soon, you know. You know, I do care about plenty of things, and if you think that my playthrough of this game allows you to psychiatrically evaluate me, you need psychiatric evaluation yourselves. Here's obviously one that was said a few times. I'm unsubbing too. How dare you? How dare you, Minx? How dare you have an opinion different to mine? How dare you play the game in a way I disliked when I didn't have to watch the videos in the first place? In all seriousness, there's not loads, but like maybe like 4 or 5 comments like this, and I hope you all unsub, and I never have to see your comments ever again, because I really don't care, you know? In fact, my channel is way too large. I have like 1 million subs, and realistically there's only 100,000 people who regularly watch my stuff, I would say, and I'd be down with having 100,000 subs if people were like, oh, I just want to unsubscribe and I'm not interested in watching this content anymore, or I don't like this style of content. A lot of people, I think, saw me play Gmod and stuff with people and were like, oh, you know, I like Gmod and whatnot, and then signed up purely because they'd seen that and didn't really know much about my sense of humor or how things go. And I pride myself on being different. I am going to be a different type of channel. I'm never going to be hugely successful on YouTube because I am never ever going to buy into the mentality that you need to have to get to the top levels. I just don't find that type of content amusing. There's some really good people who do that type of content, and it's not taking a jab at other YouTubers, but I could never do that myself, and I've realized that more and more lately. I want to do things that I enjoy. That's why I've been doing SOS, because I love doing things like that. I love that sense of humor, and it's just awesome. So if you don't like it, please do unsub. I really don't mind. You know, I'd rather have people around who enjoy the content and look forward to my, I hope to say, fairly unique sense of humour than people who are like, oh god, she's saying something sarcastic and I don't understand! My head That was another head exploding sound. I hope you enjoyed. Here's a comment from someone who left a lot of comments, all in a very similar vein on my videos. Hilarious that this whole mess is because she willingly went to YouTube comments before she could beat this 4-hour game and spoiled herself, knowing full well that story-heavy games are ripe for spoilery comments on YouTube. I don't know like about most people, but as an adult, I find it very hard to have 4 hours spare to sit down to do anything. I really don't. It actually took me 6 hours to finish the game total, so you know that's a not super long. I'll give you that, but you know it did take me, I would say, 4 days of recording sessions to actually get that done. I only usually have like an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half max spare to get through things, because I have a lot of other videos to make and collabs to do and other stuff that you guys don't see going on behind the scenes and stuff, and you know I didn't have that much time, and granted, in hindsight, if I had hindsight, I would probably record the whole thing first, but I didn't, because I assumed that this would not be literally the worst comment section I've ever fucking seen in my life, in my entire, let me think, nearly 10 years of YouTube I've been doing this. 10 fucking years, and I've never seen this. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, I'm sorry, but this person left a lot of comments like saying I was an idiot for looking at the comments and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, in general, I've never seen anything like it. Never, ever, 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 ever. The person who wrote this, you also said at one point, well, it's universally critically... I don't give a fuck if it's universally critically acclaimed. I don't give a fuck about anyone else's single opinion on anything. I don't give a fuck. I never read reviews. Why would I read reviews? It's my fucking decision if I like a game or not. I think listening to reviews is a really bad idea on whether you should buy a title or not. I really do. I feel really strongly on that, and... the whole thing is just ridiculous. I expected there to be spoilers in the comments, for sure. But as I didn't know this game was structured the way it was, I didn't know the spoilers would be that bad. Also, I didn't know that people would be quite so exploding with rage before I even really did anything that bad. And granted, I did stir shit. I thought, well, these people are arseholes. Let's kill as much stuff as I can, even though it's too late to do a genocide raid. So I had fun with that, and I enjoyed it. The main reason I finished this game was I enjoyed, you know, like, killing off the various characters and stuff, and, you know, like, seeing the reaction you guys had. I'm not gonna lie, that was a big part. But, if I played it blind, I still feel that I would have given it a fairly, you know, like... a fairly meh review, especially as I would have had to play it again to get pacifist and all that kind of stuff, because I don't really think that's a good game design to make yourself do that. And like I said, I don't give a fuck what any reviews or critics think. I don't give a fuck. I consider myself not a critic or anything like that. I consider myself someone who plays games, and my opinion of this game is it's a pretty mediocre game. Not awful, but mediocre. And that's my thoughts. Anyway, let's wrap off this video with just a comment that really doesn't understand this channel or how YouTube works in general, really. This person commented on the videos a lot, actually, a lot. And, you know, like, you know, fair play and whatnot. Fair play to you. You had your own opinions and things. But, this is the comment that closed things off. Yeah, it's a thing with these channels. All about the views. If my channel was all about the views, I would be playing lots of games that I do not play. I would be emulating the style of the channels with millions and millions of subs. I would be doing face cam. I would be being highly energetic. I would be basically not being myself. And you clearly demonstrate with this post a complete lack of knowledge about what view pandering is, because you have no idea. Absolutely none. Because... I wouldn't have done this playthrough this way if I was view pandering. I'd have gone, how do I get Undertale pacifist ending? Got a guide up on the other screen, played through, acted surprised about everything that was happening. Oh my god, like, oh my god, I don't kill them? Wow, this is so cool. This is so original. This is so great. And I would have done that sort of reaction and basically lied to you guys, which I'm sure a lot of people did for views. But that's okay. I just choose not to do that, and you have no real idea what you're talking about. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this response to comments, guys. I'll probably do some more of these in the future, but not a regular thing. I want these to be more organic. I want it to, when the mood takes me, when it strikes me. But yeah, to close off, I'm not butthurt about Undertale. In fact, I really enjoyed seeing people overreact to the thing. I really enjoyed reading these comments. It was a lot of fun to put this video together. So I hope you enjoyed. And those sane ones amongst you, please leave a like. And those of you who are psychotically defensive about Undertale, leave that dislike button as well. I know you love it. And I guess I'll see you guys really soon for another installment. Bye for now, and have a great fucking day. Bye for now.